I'm Shane, got you 11, and with me as always is Trey.
Yes, sir. We are back again with another episode of the West Coast Podcast. Appreciate you guys for checking it out. And yeah, we had a little bit of a discrepancy going into this podcast. I had posted a TikTok earlier, and I was talking to Shane, and I said it was 10 o'clock, but he actually said 9 o'clock. But other than that, we are here 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Appreciate you guys for checking out the last podcast that we put up. We had a good traction on that one, and we look forward to continue to get better and bring you guys some interesting podcast about Madden, NFL, and everything else that comes up. We like to be spontaneous. We like to come up with topics on the fly because Shane and I have that chemistry to where we can hop on a podcast and just flow and everything goes pretty smooth. So, so fun fact, I just looked at my phone and we are at Friday the 13th. So it is a Friday the 13th and it's October. So, so there's that. Um, yeah. Looking at my phone, I was thinking that Shane was texting me, but it was someone else, I think. So yeah, I guess with all that being said, Shane, how are you? How have you been doing these last couple weeks? I mean, what's been new with you?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm just trying to play a lot of Madden, get really good at Madden, hopefully make a run, one time. If not, at least my fingers will fall off from it. Other than that, went to the pumpkin patch, bro. I think last weekend. I mean, that's kind of entertaining if you've never been there, especially with little kids running around and my little kid. Pretty entertaining. What about you, Trey?
Well, it's interesting. Shane's over here talking about pumpkin patches, and you know, it's interesting because Shane actually lives in a big city where they have festivities like that going on. I mean, I live in Idaho and it's just potato fields. There's actually traffic in Idaho, which is why I'm late sometimes. People don't understand that, but no, I mean, it's been pretty cool overall. I did see the new Saw movie. We briefly touched on that on the last podcast, and I know Shane's not a huge fan of movies like that, but it was pretty good. I mean, there was one scene that was kind of gross. That's probably going to stick with me for a while, but I mean, other than that, it had a pretty good story to it. It had the main character from the first one who they killed off, which I thought was pretty stupid. I mean, they basically killed the golden goose of the entire franchise, but it is what it is. But I want to ask Shane, since we're talking about Halloween, we've had a few Halloween podcasts throughout this, so I've asked, what's your favorite candy? What's your favorite memory as a kid during Halloween? So I'll mix it up with this one, but Shane, I want you to know what is your favorite scary movie, even though I know you're not particularly fond with those kind of movies.
My favorite movie is Scream. I haven't seen the newest one, so nobody give me any, no spoilers, please. But I love Scream. Scream is one of the better ones out there for sure. And then like Don't Fry Me, I like a lot of the kid movies for Halloween. So yeah, I mean it's basically Scream and then like kids movies, bro.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I'm not into like horror movies at all, really. I mean, the reason that I like the Saw movie is because it's more thriller, I guess you would say, and it has it's not like a movie where you have like this person who just kills people or this ghost. Like there's actually, I'm not saying that the reason why in Saw he kills is a good reason, but it has the reason why he does it is something that makes you sit back and think, kind of like, okay, these people aren't showing that they value life, and so yeah, it makes you think a little bit. So, but I guess with all that being said, I mean, I'm trying to think of what happened in the Madden community. I mean, Shane, you were talking about the tournaments earlier, and I want you to know what's your opinion on the competitive scene. I believe we're going to be having the most feared. I think that's what they're calling it. Yeah, the most feared tournaments coming up soon. So who do you think is your favorite for winning the belt? Obviously, you have Henry, who's been kind of running the MCS circuit as of late. But I guess what's your opinion on that?
So okay, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent. You know how I do. Two things right now that I'm like, dude, it's kind of crazy. One, okay, before we get into who I think is gonna win the next tournament, besides me, okay, besides that, is how EA did not fix the kick meter being covered up for a week straight. But when people figured out how to exploit the game, EA knocked off Mutt for an hour or 2 hours and fixed it so you couldn't exploit and get free stuff from it. That just goes to show how much EA is about money. Like, so people are like, well, how come we don't have regs tournaments anymore? Well, now you know why we don't have reg tournaments, because they don't want you to have that. They don't want you to be getting free stuff. It's pretty obvious right now why they do that. And yes, going to the tournament. The tournament right now is in 8 days, and I still look at Henry being the favorite. Like, the game is definitely offensive oriented, and I think dollar's going to be the meta now. I mean, I'm already seeing it more like when I did some tournaments this past week. A lot of the pros were starting to run big nickel and dollar. So I would say calmly for everyone, be prepared for dollar. But I do think Henry is the clear favorite. And then the next favorite probably could be Dez, because it's such an offensive game that you probably need one or two stops. I did run into Mills. I did play Mills. I blew that game in the tournament, but I literally held him to 20 points under his average, and I made some mistakes. So I do have some defense, but I still think it's a super offensive kind of Madden right now until probably the AP comes up. But yeah, so those are my two things. Two things right now I thought it was funny is that EA would not fix the kick meter cover up for like a week, but they would shut down Mutt when you could get an exploitation about the game. Anyway, so that's what I had to say about that, Trey.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the kicking meter is pretty bad. I mean, I didn't even know, the whole thing about the exploits, but I mean, that's not really surprising. It feels like every year there's an exploit and, EA has to patch it. And I just don't know what a company like that, like, what are their rules as far as, okay, I'm going to patch this, but I'm going to not worry about this. It'd be
Money.
interesting to see what I guess their rhyme or reason is for not patching stuff versus patching stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with that part of it. So and as far as the MCS, I've been watching the last few tournaments, and it's pretty entertaining to see these guys kind of showcase their elite Madden skills and all that. So, but I want to ask Shane because I know Shane has been watching the MCS for a while. Um, I'm curious from like I guess because I know you're a top Madden player and you're like kind of in that top 1%, but I guess when you're viewing these live streams of professional Madden players and all that, what in your opinion is something that they could do to, I guess, make it more viewed by the casual Madden players? Do you think that they do a good job of trying to bring new people in, and how do you think they could make it more entertaining to the casual people?
You know, That's a very good question, Trey. Here's my thing, bro. And for me, it is okay. What can you do? I thought the clubs brought way more people in, but a lot, per what heard, is that a lot of the NFL teams were not interested in hosting gaming for people for like Madden. Like certain NFL teams did not care to have Madden even be associated with their name. And that was bringing up like, and I think, like what could push it is have like a documentary like on ESPN or an NFL network, as crazy as that sounds, but have it have like a documentary on like Henry or Problem or Skimbo. I mean it'd more have to be like Problem or Henry now. Nothing against Skimbo, but Problem was the original GOAT and now Henry's the GOAT. And then you could like where did they start? What made them do this? Have some kind of backstory, how them like get in touch with the casual. And I think like when I talk to like my casual Madden players, I I think a lot of it, Trey, would be better if they, you know, made it more realistic. And this is the reason why, like, so like how I've kind of preached Trey, like, oh yeah, I'd like it real, but it is what it is. A lot of the people that I know that are just casuals or like to play or think they're good for their neighborhood and they're in, franchises or they're on head to head, they get bored running into the same stuff. And then they say, why do I even want to watch the pros? They're going to run the same damn stuff and hope to get a stop or two, and it's not really fun. Whereas I don't know if you can make it more realistic, maybe make like the zones better, maybe make it like if you run the same plays 4 or 5 times in a row, make like the computer know, like get smarter. And then you have pro people saying, well, adjust, learn to stop it. But there's a reason why, the top pros come out in the loop blitz before it got patched or the bunch. And they would put the guy in a streak and then a corner route and then a dig route. There's all reasons for that. Yes, you adjust against other pros per possession and per games, but there's a reason why pros run bunch or tight or whatever the meta is. Whereas the casual, what would make probably more casuals pay attention is maybe have it on CBS or, you know, Channel 6 and have a little documentary, like I said, or ESPN or NFL Network, and then probably make the game a little bit more realistic, and you'd probably get way more casuals watching it, but it would never probably fit with the pros, Trey. That's how I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you. I think that they should have some more exposure. ESPN and all that would definitely be a good outlet. You know, hell, maybe you can bring the Madden bus back. That'd be pretty interesting. So here's my pitch for a brand new tournament. And I want like if you could pitch a tournament, it can be any mode, any rules that you want because I think that that would be kind of a unique question for you as well. But I think that my pitch would be is that you have a franchise. Maybe it's not like all 32 because I think if you did like 32 teams, it'd be kind of dry. But maybe you have like a division with 5 people. But the thing is that they don't actually play the game. So you have 3 people on each team. So you have one person who plays like the GM role, and then you have someone that is an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, and they showcase because like I don't know if you see on YouTube, but doing like rebuilds and stuff on YouTube that's been getting a lot of views. And I don't know, I think to me that would be pretty interesting, and I think it'd bring some new faces. Um, because the fact is that a lot of these pros they're not really into football like that, so I don't know how they could do if they're not able to, get on Madden and exploit the game. So, but yeah, I kind of want to know, like, if you could pitch any tournament, make up the rules, what would you do? And do you think that a CFM tournament would be interesting?
A CFM tournament would be interesting if it was like, for me, on my opinion, a CFM would be interesting if you want to see like the top 32 players in the world go at it, and maybe you could do, maybe adding on to it, maybe you could do anyone can enter in the CFMs, and then 32 players are in this league, 32 players are on other leagues, and so on, and then top 32 meet up where they're on like ESPN or NFL Network. That's probably the best way it would show up. Because if not, it turned into another Friday night football where it's like invite only, and they keep inviting the same people for the majority. Um, and then people feel left out. If you want casuals to be interested, and if you want more people to enter, and don't get me wrong, I mean they're kind of killing it right now, Trey. They're at like 15 to 20,000 people are entering in these MUT tournaments. That's a lot more people than it ever used to be. It used to be like 5 or 6, and now it's like 15, 16, 20. So it is getting a little bit more popular, but I think they should do regs. Just do regs for people, and I think regs would open up for a lot more of the casuals, bro. I think regs tournament would be really really sick, and like top 32 make a live event. That's how I do it if I wanted the casuals and all that stuff, bro. So that's where I'm at. I think if you're gonna do a CFM, maybe expand where you do a bunch of, I don't know, CFM leagues until you get to the top 32 who won their Super Bowl, and then the top 32 play each other, and then go from there. Or you need to do regs, Trey.
Yeah, no, I think that Rex would definitely be interesting to watch. So I guess real quick too, I guess aside from all that, I did want to bring this up. I should have brought this up at the beginning of the podcast, so I kind of took the L on that one. So Shane got you 11 on YouTube. He recently hit, I believe it was 7,000 subscribers recently, which is a huge milestone. So big shout out to everyone who comes by and supports the channel from myself and Shane. So Shane, I want to turn it over to you. How can people enter into this cash giveaway? And I guess what are the rules that they need to follow to be entered in it?
Um, Trey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you shouting out. We are at 5,046 subs. Not yet 7,000, but hopefully get to um get to 7,000 really quick down the road. I like Trey said, we appreciate everybody subscribing and all that. There is a video out there right now. I posted it about 6 7 hours ago, where you want free money, you want a chance to enter. All you have to do is listen to the video, listen to the whole video, and then put your payment that you'd like in the comment section. But you have to listen to the video for more information. And like I said, so 5,000 subs is sorry, I lost my train of thought. 5,000 subs is $50 giveaway to 3 people, random. And then 10,000 subs is $100 to 3 people, 15,000, $150 to 3 people, and so on. We do it in 5,000 subscriber increments. So, like I said, I really appreciate everybody doing what they can. And like I said, hopefully we continue and build. So that's where you can try to make that money. It's free. There's no pay to enter. It's just listen to the video, follow the instructions, and go from there.
Alright, just like Shane said, if you want to get some money, I mean, Shane's offering it. I mean, he's like Mr. Beast, basically. I mean, that's where we're trying to get at. So I guess since we hit the 5,000 subscriber milestone, it is a big deal. So I want to ask Shane, aside from the Madden record and all that, I guess on the YouTube side of things, like, how would you describe your experiences on YouTube? I know that because I'm not really, I mean, I'm not saying that you're like a big YouTuber, but you're pretty, you're getting there. So, from your point of view, is there anything that YouTube does that you think they could probably do better? And who are some of your favorite YouTubers that you like to tune into?
Okay, so appreciate it, Trey. What they could do is like when you do super chat and all that crap, is you could they could make it less where they don't take so much money away from the person that is getting donated to for whatever reason they like and all that. But my favorite, okay, so my son and I watch a few guys, and I like them. It's funny. It's not you. It's not even Madden. So like, it's not even Madden. It's none of that crap like that. And I don't have any problem with anybody on Madden on YouTube. I don't. I don't. I really don't. So we're not going to go there. But I like destroying. Destroying. Shout out to destroying. Grip booster. Right. He does a lot of football videos. They're really cool to see. They're one on ones. He goes to top high schools as well. A lot of one on ones for $10,000 to see who the best one on one player is in the state of Virginia. He was at Idaho for a high school kid who is a 5-star recruit to Boise State or 4-star recruit. I like Chris White to watch basketball. I like Nick Briz. Those are the kind of people that we watch on YouTube, and it just lets my brain settle if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I I get what you're talking about, and I mean, and I like YouTube channels like that as well. You've hit 5,000 subscribers. Just restating it like like 5 times, but so you hit 5,000 subscribers. So I guess at this point, I know you're streaming, you're doing your thing. Is there something that you thought about that you wanted to do on YouTube? Like, do you have, I guess, any big plans coming down the pike of, different stuff that you want to try out as far as YouTube videos are concerned, or do you think you kind of want to just keep grinding, doing streams and, Madden tips and stuff like that?
So here it is. Rose just threw me under the bus and said that I'm not Mr. Beast, which, I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm definitely poor compared to him, big time. um, no, for a while I wanted to go and do like giveaways, right? Like Shane got you 11 giveaways, like go and give somebody like $500 that needs it, or go to a homeless shelter with a bunch of food and share it and just pass it along like that. But then I had some friends who were like, yeah, but that looks like you're just trying to get views and you're not really trying to help people and all of that. But like for me, it's um I don't know. Like I'll probably do this honestly, even when I'm old, like real old, and be the 60-year-old grandpa playing Madden, giving Madden tips out. I might not be competitive then, but I might be streaming for you guys still. 60 years old, F it. Don't care. Looking pretty. Looking pretty and old. My fingers broken, putting in work. Rose has a question, Trey. Who do you like watching on YouTube?
All right, I appreciate Rose for always being in the chat. She's probably the number one supporter so far, so appreciate her for always stopping by. Um, like a lot of the YouTube channels that Shay mentioned, he talked about destroying and he was talking about basketball. I like Flight Reacts. I think that Flight Reacts is probably the best like reactor to like videos and the thing is that I hate reaction videos normally, but I think Flight Reacts is like the number one reactor because I think you could like watch paint dry and react to that and somehow make it entertaining. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's a few Madden YouTubers that I like. Um, I like MMG. I've always been an MMG kind of guy, and Toke Nasty, IMAV, who's a legend, Mr. Golden Sports, people like that. So, and of course, the NFL. Flemlo Raps. He does like retrospective videos on like NFL players and how their careers happen and what they're doing now, which is very entertaining. So I guess that's the kind of YouTubers that I like. Rose, let me know what kind of YouTubers that you're into in the chat or in the comments. So, but I guess with all that being said, we can move on from that. So, Shane, I want to ask, we talked about the state of Madden in the last podcast. Um, Seems like, ever since Battle 5, the next generation of consoles came out, it feels like you've kind of, and I'm not saying this as a diss, which I don't think you'd get offended, but, just throwing that out there. But, in your opinion, what do you think has kind of been the disconnect for you as far as, you start these tournaments and it seems like you start off strong. But I guess towards the end it kind of falls off for you. So what do you think that you need to start doing better and where you're lacking? Because I know that you're not going to get up here and talk about excuses saying the game sucks this and that, which is why I rock with you like that. So I guess what do you think about all that?
First, before I get into that, Trey, Rose said Flemlo is cool, Alex Rollins NFL, Brett Coleman, card openings, sports card, silver sport, scary channels like Ghost, and Shane got you 11. Okay, I'm joking on the last one. You didn't say Shane got you 11. Shout out to Frogs, Ryan, UMC crew in the building. Um, so to answer your question, Trey, to answer your question, I think I just kind of like, I don't know, go through the motions and sitting there all day. I kind of get tired out, and that's on me. And that's why I'm trying to do different things to get ready because, like, if I'm playing a big name, I get pumped up, and so it'll reawaken me. But like if I play all day, like I kind of get brain dead, and that's on me. And so I have to refocus. I have to also get going on certain things like that. I just have to be focused 24/7 instead of going through the motions. And like last time, I barely missed it, and it was on me. I waited too long to play on the Sunday, and really I needed to only win like one game, and I would have made the elimination. So I'll get there, Trey. I'm working on it, man. I've been putting in work like a lot. I mean, a lot this year.
Yeah, I see you putting in work. So we got some UMC members in the building. Appreciate you guys for checking out. And I see you guys pop up on my stream. I follow you guys on Twitch, so I definitely need to be more active as far as going into other people's streams and interacting with you guys as well. So I'll try to get around to doing that more often. So you said you're it sounds like you've been approaching the game kind of differently, and that's why you kind of feel good about how you will approach the game. So my next question is what are you doing that you feel good about as far as approaching Madden that you think that you might not have been doing a good job in the past? Like, what are some changes that you made in that regard?
Bro, you're coming with the questions that are perfect. I think this year I perfected I'm perfecting the offensive playbook that I'm in. And I'm and I'm knowing like what the setup is. My offense is way better this year than it has been in years past. So like this year, I feel like I'm focused more on being better at offense than just relying on my defense and relying on running. I have enough offensive plays where I'm feeling like I'm doing better this year, and that's where one focus I knew I had to get. Two, to make the next level, make the next jump again. And honestly, the next jump is becoming a great passer. And if I can ever become a great passer, I will be at a live event. And I know how egotistical Shane, but I'm being serious here. I really, really believe it that if I become a really, really, really good passer versus elite people, which I've gotten way better this year. So Trey, that's one thing that you asked me. It is what have I done better this year, perfecting the offensive playbook that I'm in, and being a better passer. I've definitely won games that I would have lost in the past. And now the next level is becoming a really, really good passer consistently.
All right, consistently being a better passer, I like it. I'm hoping that Mac Jones can do it, even though he probably won't. But that's besides the point. So I guess to bring this first full circle. So you've always been known as a great defensive player. I mean, I think you've even said that your offense over time has been kind of it's good enough to kind of keep you around, but it's definitely not a it's not when people think of Shane got you 11, they're not like, oh, he has a explosive offense. So do you think that like when you're passing and you're working on your passing game that you just didn't work on it because you thought that you could kind of get by with running the ball and playing some good defense, or is it something that you've been trying to work on but you've just now started to understand what you're doing wrong and kind of be a better passer?
So honestly, I just thought that my user on defense, my run game was so good that it would get me places, which it did in the past because you could take away 2, 3 routes with your user on defense. And if back in the day, if you came out in dollar and I ran the ball, you wouldn't be able to stop it like now. So no, I was kind of lazy, and then the last few years I was super busy, and I was kind of lazy and just relying. And nah, this year, bro, honestly, is I am really working on offense, and more so the passing offense than anything else. So that's where I'm at right now. I just got to continue to get better on the offensive side. And even if it doesn't come together this year, like let's say, okay, Shane, you worked on passing so much, but you just came up short. I feel like this is like Madden 15 again for me. If that, like, so I've told you this before, Trey, and I've told other people, like Madden 15, I'd get on Gamer Saloon and I would take my licks, right? I would play like Skimbo, I would play Hollywood, I'd play top guys. I'd lose money, but I learned how competitive top players play. And then in Madden 16, I made a huge jump where I was getting second place in the biggest tournaments on Gamer Saloon and for almost any gaming site you could do. I mean, they were like five, $10,000 tournaments. And I was beating Serious Mo, I was beating Hollywood. I mean, so I feel like that this could be like the Madden 15-ish year where like I'm better than Madden 15, but like with the passing, I am improving immensely. So Madden 16, which would be next year's Madden, is where I take the biggest jump, Trey.
Yeah, for sure. So it sounds like, yeah, you're working on your passing and you got some crew members that, seem like to help you out. I know that, you and I both know because we've had some conversations about, and not talking about anyone now, but obviously in the past there's been some some shady characters that we had to deal with. So I mean that's a topic too for another day. But all right, so this is gonna be the topic that I'm excited for. Um, we're going to go over Shane because, Shane, he's an 80s baby. He's not, someone who grew up and video games were something that was seen as now today where it's like a legit career. I mean, you have people who are getting scholarships off of gaming. Um, so, I'm curious to kind of go back in time and see how Shane started off in gaming to where he is now. So, Shane, you're growing up in the 80s and the 90s. What was your first experiences as gaming as a whole? Like, did you have a lot of video game consoles in the house when you were growing up as a kid, or not really?
Okay, I'm gonna date myself so bad. So thank you, Trey, on this. So here is what happened. I didn't get any consoles. I didn't get like the Sega games. I didn't get any of those things. I got PlayStation 1 and I was, I think, 11. I believe I was 11 there. And I basically, honestly, would beat up on people in like baseball, football games, hockey games, basketball games. I was never, ever good at race car games. I am horrible at race car games. And so basically, like, I would play people and I'd beat them all the time. Like, I really would. I'd beat them all the time. And I think, honestly, from the age of like 14 to 18, Trey, if there had been online gaming like there is, if there was online gaming like there is now between 14 and 18, I probably would have made multiple live events because I think I was better between 14 and 18 than I am now. And I was definitely better at 14 and 18 than I was back in the back when I made the live event in Madden 13. So for me, it's I was really really good during my high school years. Like I mean, legit. Like I could beat anybody. Like anybody from my high school that played me, anybody in the neighborhood, anybody in the neighborhood of my friend's place. And I was kind of more glitchy in the sense of um, since I'd spam, two, three plays more than I even do now. So I mean, I think in high school, I was way, 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 way better than I am now. As crazy as that sounds. And yeah, well, Shane, how do you know? Because you didn't play people. It was just different. Like I found plays that would exploit the game. I was kind of like those kids. Whereas now, like I'm more like I play more realistic, and it's just what it is on that. And Rose, yeah, I was on Maze-O-Matic Extreme. I didn't know it, but yeah, that was the game that I played against Mills, and I should have won. But that's where I'm at right there, Treon, where I got into gaming and all that stuff.
All right, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know, so maybe that's where like the influx of subscribers came through was on Mazomatic live stream. So shout out to Mazomatic for sure. So, and this is gonna be a question that's kind of off the rails, kind of. It's kind of gets more into like political in a sense, but it's kind of curious, but the whole video game industry when you were growing up, like as a whole in the 80s or 90s, what was the perception that you saw of people on video games? Like, was there a mass consensus of people who played video games that they were nerds and this and that? And also, with all the violence in video games that were coming out, do you think that when you have, violence in video games, movies, and stuff like that, do you think that it kind of influences people in a negative way, or do you think it's not the people's fault, it's the people who play the game's responsibility to not act it out. So I know I'm kind of putting you in the spotlight with that. You probably weren't prepared for that, but let me know.
Bro, I am always ready. I am always ready on stuff like this. No, it was a little bit different because and this is gonna sound bad, but I'm gonna be honest. So like, I played video games, right? So I played enough video games, but I was also playing sports 24/7 too. I was also going places. Like a lot of the kids nowadays, a lot of them don't really do anything. They kind of just, sit in the house, play 24/7, conversate on the phone with each other or online parties. I mean, and they don't really uh they don't like I mean, they don't really go and do stuff that I used to do, like, or kids my age did. Like I said, so we would here, I'll give you a perfect Friday night. Okay, so I go to my friend's house at 4 o'clock, right? And we would go to the park, play basketball, play football for 3 4 hours until 8 o'clock, right? We'd come back, we'd play video games for about 3 to 4 hours. We'd play video games for about 3 4 hours till about 12 a.m. and then we go play video games for, you know, or I mean, we'd go play sports until like 2 a.m. So we'd be playing outside like 5 6 hours, bro, under the streetlights. But at the same time, we'd be playing video games for 5 6 hours. But we're splitting it up. Whereas like a lot of these kids are playing, 10 11 hours. Um, they're they're really not as social as we were growing up either. And no, here I'll say this: I don't think video games are the problem fully. I think what it is socialization, right? I think socialization is the problem with kids nowadays. Like instead of going out and seeing people and hanging out and talking to people and just playing like video games, like, dude, we had weird video games. We had killing video games. But I think like if I'm in a room by myself and I'm just doing killing games, killing games, killing games, and I never talk to anyone, I'm gonna feel probably a little bit different than, if back in the day when I was playing video games. Like I had friends who did killing games and they never became a killer. I had friends who did shooting games that never shot in real life. I mean, I think it's socialization, Trey. I think kids are less social from a gaming standpoint than in general. Like, yes, there are still kids that don't really game that much, and they play sports or they go with friends. I'm talking about the gaming community. I think the gaming community is less social than it's ever been. So that's where I'm at with that.
All right, awesome, gotcha. So with that, I'm gonna throw you a lighter question. So, besides any of the Madden games, what would you say is your favorite game? You know, growing up of all time. It can be a sports game, or if you played any games that weren't a sports game, and also going to the arcade. Are you a skee ball kind of guy? Are you a basketball kind of guy? Like, did you are you a Pac-Man kind of guy? I guess what's your go-to whenever you go to an arcade?
So, okay, so we'll answer this and I'll answer each question. So, my favorite games growing up were Triple Play Baseball on the PlayStation 1, Triple Play 99, NCAA 98, and then NCAA '06. And those were my two favorite. Those were my two favorite. And then when I go to Arcade Tray, what I would basically do is I would literally, and I mean literally, go and do, yeah, I would do the little skee ball game where you'd roll the ball up. I think that's what it's called, right? Where you roll the ball into like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, whatever. But then I'd also do basketball games and all that stuff. So I think that's what you're talking about. Like I think that's skee ball or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it's skee ball. Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, and then but okay, one of my favorite games, bro, of all time was the FIFA Soccer arcade game. I can't remember what it was. I don't remember if it was 98 FIFA, but we'd go into Kelso, Washington and play this FIFA game. So that was my favorite thing, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, if you ever played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, no lie. One of my favorite things of all time. So to sum it up, yes, I mean, I like I said, I like previous questions. Socialization makes kids different in the gaming community now. So that was for the previous question or the last one. I'm sorry, Trey. Skee ball, dope game. Playing the little basketball shooting game, dope game. But when I'd go into the arcade game, I would look for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game and the FIFA soccer game.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't really have arcades. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. So I remember, going to Chuck E. Cheese. This was probably back, when I was young, like probably like 10 or 11. Of course, as a kid, you're seeing all these commercials and you think that Chuck E. Cheese is going to be this huge, big thing, especially coming from a small town. But, you show up there and it's like nothing really that special. So, I mean, we kind of got played on that. So, but I always remember, me and my brother were going around trying to gain tokens, this and that, and I look over and there's people that are like cheating over by like the skee ball, like how you were talking about, and it made me think. I'm over here trying to get tokens and tickets legitimately, and these people are cheating, and I look like an asshole because they're walking out with the biggest prize, and I'm over here walking out with the little prize. So that just kind of changed my whole perspective on cheating. I was a wrestling fan. I used to cheer for the good guys, but after that experiences, I was cheering for the bad guys because because I realized that that's what gets you far in life is to cheat. So there's that. So you're coming up, you're playing video games, and you said that you'd go in the neighborhood and you'd play games, be successful, have a lot of fun. At what point did you think that gaming was something that you could, I guess, advance into and kind of make a career out of it?
Bro, probably. I mean, not even Madden 13 when I made a live event. It's when I had to stay at home for other reasons. But I realized about Madden 16, like I could make money by playing video games, by playing Madden. That's how comfortable I was. I was comfortable playing video games, and I knew that I could make money from it about Madden 16. So that was even after the live event that I made too. I wasn't even so sure then, but Madden 16 definitely made me feel like, okay, I could make good money.
Got you. Yeah, and I think what's interesting with your whole story, I mean, obviously, there was certain circumstances that kind of led you into figuring out that, oh, this is something I can do, which I'm not going to get into. But, like for you, it's kind of interesting because, you weren't someone who grew up in, like when you were like 20, 21, you were like, oh, I'm going to get on Madden and going to make some good money. I'm going to start this YouTube career, which is at 5,000 subs now, and keep grinding on that. So when you look back at how things, I guess, kind of played out into where you are now, is there something that you would have done differently? Not in like, like real life, situations like that, but as far as gaming, do you think that early on when you first made that original tournament in 13 that you wish you would have taken it seriously, or what are some of the changes that you would have made to that you wish you would have?
Oh, Trey, I probably would have went all in. I would have found out about like how to enter on the MUT tournaments like they were doing in Madden 16, Madden 15, all that stuff, or whenever. I think it was Madden 16. But I would have found out more. I would have been way more in depth. I would have found out where the tournaments were on Madden 14 or whatever it was. I think it was called Madden, yeah, Madden 14 than Madden 25. Because I mean, it was easier back then. Like we've had that conversation before. Problem, big fish in a small pond. It would have been way easier to make some good money then than before or than now. So yeah, definitely that. Also, Rose says to read the chat when you have a chance. But yeah, I probably would have tried to make probably try to make a serious run in Madden 14 on tournaments. Like I could have found them than what I was doing where I didn't really try until Madden 16. Madden 15 I kind of did, but not really. Madden 16 is when I first learned, and I listened to people. I trusted people online. Like when Skimbo told me don't try for MUT, it's a waste on Madden 16. I probably would have tried differently. So yeah, to answer your question, Trey, I would have definitely try to make a run right away instead of waiting, 4 or 5 years. Because I don't even think I tried until Madden 18 to try to make a live event.
All right, so I just went in the chat and I saw Rose. I'm actually glad that someone found that funny. I don't know if Shane Shane probably was over there thinking like the hell is this guy talking about, but that's something because like sometimes you'll be sitting and you're think about something and then like you'll if you find something funny you'll like slide it in conversation to see how people react to it. So I mean, hey, I got someone to think it was funny, so I appreciate that. But so yeah, so I mean, I guess since we're on the subject of cheating as a whole, I mean, you and I both know that the Madden community is not really above cheating and doing all that stuff. Like, did you always kind of know, like even going back then, that the Madden community was pretty shady, or did you think like because I could imagine you probably found out very early on that there was some sketchy people in that community. So I mean, when did you figure out about that?
Bro, honestly, I was too naive. Like I trusted like the Skimbos and like those the guys like that. Like when I was in Gamer Saloon, that's why I didn't try out Madden 16. I thought they were serious. Like I was like, yeah, I shouldn't try out. Like he probably knows something that I didn't know, and so I did all that stuff right, and I was kind of fooled for a few years. I would help people. I would think that they were cool with me, and then they would kind of hustle me when I wasn't paying attention. It probably took until about Madden 18, Madden 19, where I'm like, yeah, these people are kind of scummy. A lot of them are scummy, and the rare people you find, they're cool as hell, and I really like them. You know what I mean? So it was about.
Yeah,
It
for
took a few
sure.
years,
So
Trey.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of always knew, going in because I've heard about, like even going back then. I mean, this wasn't. It feels like ever since there were tournaments, there's been shady people. I mean, it's not something that's only happened in the MCS era. It's kind of always been around to some degree. So there's that. So I mean, hearing your story is pretty awesome. I mean, I kind of knew most of it, but kind of given the whole picture on how you become Shane Gayu 11 is definitely I think beneficial for people who are gonna come in and want to know more about your story and how you became to be the guy known as Shane Got You 11. So, how did you? Because I think the 11 on your name is a baseball player, but I forget which baseball player it is. So is that kind of the gamer tag that you always stuck by? Has there ever been any other gamer tags that you were known for, or is that it?
So number 11, when I was young, was the 1995 Seattle Mariners, Edgar Martinez, best DH ever. I'm just gonna say it. And so I was in baseball then. And I'm like, yo, that's my favorite number now, and I've just stuck with it. Well, when I finally got, I think my own, like where it was my own, and I think it was like, I think it was a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation. I don't remember. I don't really remember. Maybe a PlayStation 3 when I was online for the first time. I think it was PlayStation 3. I was like, I need a cool name, so I'm like, oh, Shane got you. Yeah, Shane's got you. And I'm like, okay, what's my favorite name? So then it was Shane got you 11. So it's kind of like, it's kind of funny. Like I got you, like I beat you in the game. And yeah, some people have beat me and been like, yeah, I got you. One time I didn't get it because I was confused. Blame it on the age. But yeah, that's how basically I came up with the name. Like Shane got you 11 is Edgar Martinez's number. Became my favorite number when I was little, and then I just decided to come up with the name Shane got you.
Yeah, it's always interesting because I feel like you could kind of read that name in a various amount of ways. Because honestly, like if I was online and I saw Shane got you 11, I would kind of think, oh, this guy's kind of sleazy. I think he's gonna try to do something. And he'll be like, haha, I got you. But I don't know. Like I feel like whenever I saw that name, I kind of interpreted it as like something to where you like, oh, I got you. Like when someone asks you, hey, can you do this, and you're like, oh, I got you. Like that's to me how I've kind of thought that name was in that sense. So I guess with all that being said, let's talk briefly about NFL. So it seems like the Seahawks are kind of underdogs against the Cincinnati Bengals, which is kind of surprising to me. Um, so what's your thoughts on that game? And is there any college football games that you look forward to watching too this weekend? And I guess any other NFL games in general.
I think the Seahawks since the game will be really really tough. I think the QB is going to decide who wins that one. So I think it's going to be Geno Smith or Joe Burrows, and I do see the Seahawks winning 24-21. That's what I'm going with. I'm going to watch WSU versus Arizona, but the game that I'm looking forward to is the Huskies versus the Oregon Ducks tomorrow at 12:30. For the rest of the NFL, nah, nothing really excites me if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, definitely. The 49ers beat the brakes off of Dallas last week. I wasn't really expecting that. It seems to me like the 49ers are just like a notch above everybody else in the NFL. I know Philly's undefeated, but I'm not really too sold on them. I think that they're going to kind of peak out eventually. And for New England, we go against the Raiders. Really, how the entire New England Empire fell was last year. Was it last year? I think so. We could have been in the playoffs. Would we lose to Cincinnati? Well, we did lose to Cincinnati, but is there a chance if we won that game that the momentum would have carried us into the postseason? Maybe. And then Jacoby Myers throws the ball back 50 yards to Mac Jones, and they run it in, and now Jacoby Myers is now a Raider, which I feel like is kind of conspiracy theorist. So there's that, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game has a little bit of animosity to it with Josh McDaniels, Jacoby Myers, Jimmy Garoppolo, all former Patriots. So I'm looking forward to that game just for that. But I'll be honest, I'd be surprised if we get 500 this season. This team is like really really terrible. So I mean, it's just like one of those things where it's like you look back and it's like, how did we get to where we're at? So there's that. But yeah, I mean, we've been on here for about a little over an hour, so I know Shane's a busy guy. He's always got something going on, so I guess for me, I don't really have any too much to say. I'm gonna throw it back over to Shane to see if he has anything else he wants to say before we wrap this up. But for me, be sure I actually did a live stream the other day where I played Players Lounge games. And that's something that I'm going to be doing. So check me out on YouTube. My name is Trey is Raw. You search it up on YouTube, you'll find it. And there's some other videos. The thing I'm most excited about is the ebook review, where I'm going to buy some ebooks and give you my review to see if the ebooks are worth it or not. I think it's going to be a good idea, something original. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. So I'll throw it back over to Shane.
Definitely, you guys go check out Trey's YouTube channel. Um, Always fun to do. I definitely watched him when he did the Players Lounge. So, you guys, I don't have much else to say. I appreciate everybody being in here and the people that'll listen to it, you know, in the next week or so when you're doing whatever. But we will be back October 27th at 10 p.m. Pacific time for our Halloween special. Trey will always have something clever and cool for us to do and some tidbits. So until then, this is the West Coast Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks from now.